Well, folks, we made it. 2020 finally come to an end, and probably one of the worst years ever. And luckily, though, we have been occupied generously by gaming mice. The amount of selections that have been out there throughout the entire course of the year have been absolutely insane. There's really been no end game because there's going to be flaws with each one, but every mouse seems to excel in one category or the other. So I'm here to bring you my top 5 gaming mice of 2020. All right, up first, we've got the Razer Viper Mini. This guy came out around March or April of this year, and honestly, I feel like it's used more than the regular Viper or the Viper Ultimate. It is definitely designed for that small or medium size hand, and the definitely fingertip or claw. You have to have toddler hands if you're going to palm grip this, but it is a little bit of a narrow mouse, so it might find some discomfort in folks. But I mean, Razer really knocked it out of the park with this at only $40. It comes with the optical switches. It's only 61 grams in weight. It has really nicely diffused RGB on the back end, and really it's just all around a solid mouse. I actually do firmly believe that, one thing that really gets people getting this over the Viper Ultimate is going to be the side buttons. The side buttons on the Mini are far superior than the regular Viper or the Viper Ultimate, and coming in at a price tag of only $40, sometimes you'll be able to find it at $30. It's almost a no-brainer. It is definitely something that I believe Razer needs to do more of with their smaller mice, sans the Death Adder Mini though, and really the most sought after thing of 2020 is people wanting a Viper Mini Ultimate. They're wanting a wireless version of this so bad. If you monitor any of Razer's actual tweets, you just see folks all the time asking, when is it going to come out? Even though there's been no teaser, no leak of any sort. It's just that much of a used mouse. And, the paracord itself is serviceable. It's definitely on the thicker end of things. So I will say that you want to get a bungee if you do have one, if you don't plan on getting a third-party cable for this. But the other really cool thing about the Viper is that the PTFE feet that are on it, you don't need to replace these. These are actually fantastic feet. And if you need to replace the cable, well, it's all underneath the actual sticker here. So they made it really easy for you to be able to replace it without having to buy extra feet. And my God, I wish more companies would follow suit with that. This one kind of took the industry by storm as Glorious came out with the Model O wireless at an astonishing price of $79.99. And this mouse itself, I absolutely love, mainly because it's very similar to your FK or your Razer shape. And the Razer Viper Ultimate is what I've mained the longest. Normally I'm switching mice out left and right, but the Razer's always kind of been there for me. And now with the Model O wireless, it's definitely something that I feel could easily replace it. The Model O wireless, it does have a Type-C charger, which is something that you're not going to find on the Superlight. So it does offer super fast charging if you're ever in a pinch. It does have really nice RGB on both sides, as well as the scroll wheel. The software itself is still in beta, but it does work to what you need it to do. And the honeycomb shape is the first on our list. And it honestly is super sturdy. There's not a single creak or weird flex that I can experience on the Model O wireless. All in all, at $80, it is absolutely fantastic. The clicks feel good. The scroll wheel feels good. It is just all around a really great and solid mouse. I don't really feel the need that you need to make any changes to it. Although I will say I wish that it came with grip tape. This is going to be the Hotline Games grip tape. And I'll leave a link in the description below for that if you're curious on that. But this comes in black as well as a matte white. The ever infamous Endgames XM1. This is such a fantastic mouse that I'm sure if you browse the subreddit of mouse reviews for even 5 minutes, you would have seen at least a thread on this or a mouse being compared to the XM1. Endgame is a German brand and they're fairly new to the industry, but this is their version 2. They did a revamp on a late release in 2019 with one of the best cables ever. This is definitely a cord that comes out of the box, the braided flex cord, that honestly probably gets compared to every single stock cord out there, even in the sense of purchasing a third-party paracord. This almost still trumps it. This is like one of the mice that's out there that you never really need to paracord. But if you choose to, obviously it's only going to make it even better than it already is. But we're looking at 99% plus in PTFE material on the feet. The shell has like a nice coating to it that's not really problematic for fingertips, although I will say the black one does show it significantly more than the white. My only issue that I might have with the XM1, if I could change anything, is going to be the scroll wheel positioning. I can't really determine if it's either too small or it's too forward on the mouse, but you get used to it after a while. And the only thing that I can really harp on this mouse, and this is being picky, is the body sound. And you're going to hear it in the sound test that it just has this like very weird echoey sound to it. Like there's nothing inside of the mouse. And I don't know if it's something with the materials or just the acoustics bouncing around on the shell shape, but it does get kind of annoying, but it's something you're not really going to notice if you're gaming and you're wearing a headset anyways. But yeah, the Endgame XM1 is a fantastic mouse. I definitely do recommend. Next on my list needs no introduction. That is the Logitech G Superlight, the successor to the G Pro Wireless. We're all pretty familiar with its shape and size. But to really give you a quick rundown, this is going to be good for anyone with a medium or large size hand. If you're looking for even a palm grip, but mainly a claw grip, I found the most comfort with. You can fingertip this, but I did have a little bit more problems doing that than so gripping. It is now right-handed only, as they did get rid of the side buttons on the right-hand side, but there is more of a groove here, which does help with liftoff. So it does make it feel as though those buttons are there still that you can use as a way to, almost like a ledge, to help with your grip. And I do like that. The surface is unchanged. It's still smooth, but it does feel like it has that coating on it, almost like a UV coating, but not as strong as, say, like the XM1 by Endgame. There is no RGB on this guy, and the PTFE feet are fantastic out of the box. You definitely don't need to replace them, but they are rather thin. I do have core pads on the way. I'm excited to try those. But, of course, it's going to use all of the latest from Logitech's engineers. The 25K Hero sensor. It does use Omron 20mm, and it does have the Lightspeed wireless connectivity. Never had a single issue with any of Logitech's wireless products, and that even goes for any of their office products as well. This is just all around a solid mouse that hits at 60 grams, which is absolutely insane given that they did have to modify the structure of the G Pro Wireless, and that came in at right around 82. The reason why this is at my number 4, though, is the price. $150 is a lot to swallow in the middle of a pandemic, right? And even if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, asking for $150 on a mouse that essentially has had, granted, drastic positive improvements, is still a hard pill to swallow. So I think that, this is really for that niche, extremely competitive gamer out there. It's not going to be for everyone at that price point of $149.99. All right, honorable mentions time, and these are two fantastic mice that didn't make the cut because they just didn't see the desk time or playtime that other mice did that are on this list. That's going to be the Burst Pro and the Pulsefire Haste. The HyperX mouse is $49.99. It is such a well-constructed mouse at a great value. Wonderful PTFE feet, really great structure, and a fantastic braided cable that I don't believe needs to be paracorded. And now you have the Roccat Burst Pro. This is a great alternative to the Endgame XM1 if you're looking for something with RGB. It is a little bit narrower. It doesn't have the same flares as the XM1 that makes it such a great mouse to grip. But it is a very fun mouse to use. The side buttons are fantastic. The scroll wheel's great. It has some of the best PTFE feet outside of the box right away, so it's not something that you do need to replace. The paracord, the braided cable is actually a really good cable. It is one that I would suggest paracording if you are able to, but it's not going to kill you if you can't, as it is still very flexible and you can always grab a mouse bungee. But these are two great alternative mice that I did do reviews on, and I'll leave a link to those videos in the description. Alright folks, and it has come time for my top mouse of 2020. This is a mouse I feel that hope starts to trend, and that is going to be replacement shells. This is the XtraFi M42. This is the successor to XtraFi's popular mouse last year, the M4. That was a medium-sized ergo. This is more of your small, medium, symmetrical mouse, and it is right-handed only, so keep that in mind. But not only does it have a 3389 sensor, it's got PTFE feet, it has an okay braided cable. This is really the biggest downfall. It does not have the flexibility of something like from Cooler Master or Endgames. It is serviceable. That is if you get yourself a bungee. And this is the Esports Lunar Dial. And this is a fantastic bungee that's fully adjustable and something that can withstand this frozen shoelace of a cable. I'll leave a link in the description below for that. But going back to the XtraFi M42, this really feels like one part MM710 or 711 by Cooler Master with its very pronounced rear hump. Makes it perfect for claw grip. If you have a hand size, I have the hand size of 19 by 10, and it's just, it feels so good, folks. But if claw grip is not for you, fear not, as you do have the secondary shell here, and that secondary shell is going to give you that, I would say, more on the size of a Viper Mini, but it definitely gives me a little bit of a feeling of the FK2. Either way, though, it is a lower profile rear hump. It still sits at 38 millimeters no matter what shell you go with, but it is just overall a beautiful mouse for fingertip or claw. It has really good clicks. I love the groove on the UV coated triggers. PTFE feet on the bottom, they are good, not great. I'll give them that. They're serviceable, but if once Corpad does release their own, definitely grab those. And if you're going to grab the PTFE feet, I got to go back to it. It does have a really bad cable, and I can't stress that enough. But at the end of the day, gun to my head, I'm looking at the M42 as my favorite mouse of 2020. 59 grams, ranging from $59 to $69 in 5 different colorways. It is available through Amazon as well as direct through XtraFi. It is just a fantastic mouse, and I hope more people do give it a try, because at least I feel in the States, XtraFi is really not that well known. So hopefully we can change that. But let's go ahead and give you guys a sound test of this mouse as well as all the other mice listed in the video. Alright folks, so that does it for me. This is my top mice of 2020. I do really love all of these mice on this list, including the honorable mentions. Just keep in mind there is no true end game, so make sure you do all the research you can before you invest in a mouse that is going to be perfect for you. I do feel that 2021 can only bring us even better mice with as much progress we made this year. But that does it for me. I'm Jafer. I do appreciate you guys spending as much time as you did watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you can. You guys have yourself a great holiday season.